Hello everyone and welcome back guys, finally back with the F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. Yes, it's been a little while since we did the last race of this series. Of course we had a lot of F1 My Team to go through. Of course we've had all the new F1 Manager content as well. If you're enjoying that, there'll be a video out later on today, so make sure you get yourself subscribed. But yeah, the Haas Road to Glory, I never really want to leave it on the back burner. I am having so much fun with it on F1 22. Of course, if you missed out on the last video from Hungary a few days ago, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out as well. Of course, yeah, it's probably close to 2 weeks ago now, the last race in this series. I've got no intention of leaving the gaps that long in the future once more. So, you know, for those of you that are dedicated to the Haas RTG, I do see you out there. It is greatly appreciated that you are still sticking around and enjoying this series. Of course, if you're not already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed as well for daily Formula 1 content. Of course, like I said at the moment, we're doing F1 22 and F1 Manager videos. We're trying to get one of each out pretty much every day at the moment. So yeah, if you're enjoying that, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed for more Formula 1 content. Of course, at the time of recording this, mighty close now to 80k. So if you can help me get one step closer, like I said, it would be massively appreciated. But yeah, heading though in towards the Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, summer break all done and dusted. You can see we have still got a lot of upgrades on the works at the moment. There are 2 major and 2 minor parts that would bring us close to Red Bull and McLaren there. And I mean, really, yeah, once we've got those upgrades on, the gap between the top 4 teams is not that big anyway. Championship-wise, though, currently still Charles Leclerc leads the way. They're 47 ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz, with Verstappen and Perez waiting 3rd and 4th there. We're still best of the rest, currently sat in 7th place, not too far from George Russell as well, as Mercedes, yeah, are a long way in front in terms of the Constructors' Championship. Of course, we just want to try and solidify P4 over on the Constructors. Fernando Alonso just 20 points back from myself. Things are going to get interesting, though, as we head into the second half of the year, but Belgium should be a track that suits our car. Let's get into it then, qualifying day here from Spa. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then, back at Spa for the 2nd time in a week. I'm certainly not complaining, and of course the Belgian Grand Prix kicks off today as well, of course, with free practice, or has already kicked off with free practice by the time this video goes live there, but out of the final corner, trying to put the power down and get ready for our first qualifying run. Pace feels really good round here, like I said, this and Monza should be probably 2 of the last really big shots we've got this year for a real upset performance. Hopefully Haas can do a similar thing in the real-life Grand Prix this weekend. Of course, now they have got all the upgrades on for both of their drivers. Obviously, K-Mag got the... I think everyone's dubbing it now the white Ferrari, aren't they? But K-Mag already had those upgrades at the Hungaroring. Mick Schumacher should be getting them as well this weekend. But of course, the real question is, will Mick Schumacher be staying here in 2023? As purple through the first sector. That was nice and tidy, but just got to try and be super sensitive on the throttle there. Seem to find this car really tries to break free on the exit there as George Russell immediately sets a 45 flat. So we went somehow purple through the middle sector there. I thought we were running a very slippery car down the straights, but clearly able to get it all hooked up through the twisty bits as well as we head up in towards Blanchemont then. Final few corners of this first lap. Max Verstappen, I think, has set the pace on a low 44. What are we going to be able to do though as we head down in towards the final chicane here? Attack the curbs on the way through the bus stop there as Lando Norris now goes fastest in his McLaren up towards the line though.
And that's the fastest lap so far. Well done.
We somehow go even faster. No idea how we've managed to run a 43.5. We're quicker than Lewis Hamilton. Sat all over the gearbox then of Zhou Guanyu as we head up in towards about to start our final lap of qualifying here. Fingers crossed. No, I can't really overtake him because I think he's still on his run. But we can try and get a nice run out of the final corner. Can we try and see what sort of lap time we can get there? I'm hoping Zhou Guanyu lets me through on the exit of La Source there, or even carries me up the Kemmel Straight just a little bit. As you can see, heading down in towards turn 1 there. Try and get the car slowed down nice and tidy. And then ride the throttle on the exit. Make it very clear which side of Zhou Guan Yu we're going to go. And luckily the Alfa Romeo does get out of the way there. But Lando Norris has improved once again. So this looks like a really mixed up qualifying session here around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Are we going to see anyone else improve though further back? It doesn't look like they are. I don't know what's going on for a lot of the other drivers here, but Lando Norris and I seemingly able to capitalise as we take a lot of curb at the top of the hill there. Attack the curbs through the chicane there, and then, like I said, try and be brave on the exit there. Make the circuit as wide as we possibly can, or a little bit wide, as we head through, not Massenet, of course, but I know it does begin with an M there, through No Name down the hill as we head now in towards the infamous Puong corner. Having to go down 2 gears on F122 there, and still running a little bit wide that time round. It actually cost me on the exit there, as you can see, only a 10th up still as we swing it down in towards the Fagnes chicane for the final time in this qualifying session. They're really trying to attack the curbs as best as possible. Here we've got Alex Albon in his Williams just in front of us there, but trying to get a nice run off the exit of the corner. You can see we are fractionally away from Lando Norris there. It has been a surprise showing so far from Lando and myself here, is getting some nice slipstream from Alex Albon, and the Williams has really come in clutch. As you can see it, look at how much he's helped me as we head up in towards the final couple of corners then, are qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix. We're already going to be on the front row of the grid. Could this be good enough for pole position here at Spa-Francorchamps up towards the line? Yes, it is.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Mr. Monaco, Norris and Lewis Hamilton. With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
There we go then, a British 1, 2, 3 on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix, and immediately, I'm going to hold up my hands and admit we probably need to up the AI level. I think the last race I did on this series was before, like, the 1.08 patch, and I had completely forgot about that before we jumped into qualifying today. But, that being said, we'll enjoy the pole position there. Shades of Force India back in 2009. Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton alongside, well, Lando Norris alongside me, Lewis Hamilton starting just behind. But what a qualifying session then here from Spa. I don't think we'll hang on for the win, but podium, maybe? This track does really suit our car, a bit like Baku. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula 1 World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher back in 1992. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there's no place quite like it. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Mr. Monaco lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Perez, Russell and Valtteri Bottas, Mick Schumacher, Gasly, Fernando Alonso and Joe, Tsunoda, Albon, Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll, Ocon and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Right, well here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Belgian GP, and Haas with their very first pole position here. I have upped the AI, I think we were on 97, and I have upped it back up to 104, ready for this race. So I know sometimes you guys ask what AI I'm running, so 104 this weekend. I do have to tweak it around slightly, quite a bit, just to try and keep it fair and keep it interesting as well there. But yes, nice simple one-stop strategy, of course, is the goal today. Mediums to hard tyres there later on in the afternoon. But yeah, I'm expecting we probably will go backwards a little bit today, but the question is just how many places will we lose. But ready then on the grid for the Belgian GP. Round 14 of 22 here, the summer break done and dusted. Haas starting really, really strong, and I just forgot, of course, this is the first formation lap I'll ever lead on this game, because yesterday that was the first pole I've ever had on F1 22. Right, well, heading up then in towards the final couple of corners of the formation lap. This is, yeah, a completely new experience that I hadn't even put together. I was so happy we were able to put the Haas car onto pole that I'd forgot about everything else there, but got to try and get some heat into the tyres. Lando Norris really trying to get in my head there just by running alongside us as much as he can. But fingers crossed we can get the car lined up nicely on the grid there. Want to just angle slightly out towards the outside, and we'll only get the green. Ready on the grid then for the Belgian Grand Prix, waiting on those 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go. Trying to avoid the wheel spin off the initial getaway there, but look at that, Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton immediately get around the outside there. A little bit of a lock-up down at turn 1, and look at that, Hamilton from 3rd straight up into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix there. Charles Leclerc gets around me as well as we head down in towards Eau Rouge and Raidillon for the first time there. Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton are still side by side as we're going to try and see how good the top end speed is on this car there. You can see Lando Norris going nowhere. Leclerc goes one side. We're going to try and go the other there. Hamilton is going to try and close us off. We'll have a look, make it 4 wide as we head down the Kemmel Straight there. This is just not going to go well between all 4 cars there. Loads of contact, but somehow in all of that, that has got to be the most ridiculous start I've had. Leclerc's off in the gravel trap. Norris is hung on to P2 there, and with the exception of Charles Leclerc, everyone in the top 4 has ended up exactly where they started. Let's just quickly have a look at what happened to Charles. So I don't know whether there was contact or what for Charles Leclerc there, but I think he did just understeer out wide. It doesn't seem like anything happened in particular, but yeah, everyone else is trying to make it through there, and 4 wide at the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. Shades of 2018, but that was ridiculous. So I wonder if Hamilton's just picked up a tiny bit of front wing damage there, because he's now dropped behind Carlos Sainz at the start of this race. I mean, for Sainz, it's a huge opportunity to try and close back up on his teammate in the World Championship there. But Lando Norris and I, we both know we've got to try and run like crazy here. There is a big, big chance for good points for the pair of us this weekend at Belgium. Of course, McLaren had such a bad start to the year. Spent about the first 8 races bottom in the Constructors' Championship by virtue of the ridiculous Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, round 4 of the year. But heading up in towards the final corners, still struggling with front lock in there, as you can just see, trying to maybe take a little bit too much out of these medium tyres at the start of the race. But here comes Lando again then to the outside as we head back down towards turn 1. You don't see too many overtakes here. But is Lando Norris going to be able to pull off the move there? We'll give him the room around the outside there, but we just about are able to put the power down this time, as surely Lando is still going to be able to get the run up the Kemmel Straight here. We have got phenomenal top-end speed, though, in this Haas. It's been a talking point all year so far. We have got to use the overtake button a little bit more, but it looks like Lando Norris doesn't quite have the legs this time round, and somehow we hang on to the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. I mean, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, they're both just all over the back of me as we head back up the hill. But I've definitely made this car a little bit too slippery down the straights there, around the top section of the circuit. We have just got no grip on the rear end there, really just sliding the back end around, trying to keep it in the right direction. That is going to make things a bit more difficult as the afternoon unfolds. It was clear that come Saturday, it had the pace. The car could hang on to it, of course, because of the grippy soft compound tyres here. But get to Sunday, and maybe we accidentally built ourselves up a time trial car on F1 22 as we're going to try and see what sort of run Lando Norris is going to be able to get this time round as we head back through Eau Rouge there. You can just see, even through there, for the first time since about F1 2019, the car feeling incredibly slippery. But is Lando Norris going to be able to close in? Daniel Ricciardo now up into P5 there, but you can just see this thing is a rocket ship down the straights. Lando can barely get any closer. There we go, new fastest lap of the day. Despite the cars behind me having the DRS, we've still legitimately got good pace here. This Haas is flying around the Belgian Grand Prix. I wonder if we just put a bit too much through the rear tyres at the start. They might have just overheated slightly, because now they seemingly seem to be struggling less and less with them as each lap goes by. Hamilton only 3.5 seconds away there, and then there's a huge drop back to Sergio Perez. This is a wild weekend of Formula 1 so far, but we are only 4 laps in. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues further back. I think it might be Mick Schumacher. No, our teammate with reliability issues. I think that's what, the 3rd or 4th time this year Mick Schumacher is going to retire from a Grand Prix there, and no idea why our teammate has seemingly faced all the bad luck. But Schumacher out of the Belgian Grand Prix, that is not reassuring. I mean, look at this. We've actually broke now the DRS range from Lando Norris behind us, and I think it's that wonderful thing of the McLaren isn't actually any faster than our car so far this year. We've often been able to sort of rustle their feathers still. I mean, we're ahead of them in the championship, but also that thing is very, very fast down the straights as well, so Sainz can't get up to Lando Norris. Lando Norris can't get to me, and we are just trying to run away early on in this race. It's all falling into place for us. I just don't know how Lando and I both were able to get on the front row yesterday. Oh, there we go. Carlos Sainz, I think, has just pulled off the move on Lando Norris there, but they're both still costing each other time, as Sainz now surely is going to be hot pursuit in that Ferrari there. But, I mean, Lando Norris, he's still only 7/10 back. If he can somehow sneak ahead of him again, that could be really good for us. But, yeah, Sainz now surely is going to be a man on a mission here. There's a big, big chance for him to take a big chunk of points out of Charles Leclerc, his teammate, in this Grand Prix. But I think if we can stay ahead till the pit window, that'll be reassuring. But we are going to have to start monitoring that gap. Well, around in the final corner then to start lap 10 of this race. I'm sure the team will want us to box in very soon. As you can just see, the gap to Sainz is coming down. And I think Lando Norris has just been dragged along a little bit over the last couple of laps as well. Oh, don't want to do that over the curb at turn 1 there. And that might immediately push Carlos Sainz inside the DRS range here in this race. Of course, we can afford to go 1 lap longer on the tyres if we want to. Of course, because Mick is out of the Grand Prix. You can just see how much we've burnt through them in the opening 10 laps of this race. I think we will have to box the end of this one, as we do stay ahead of Sainz for now. I'm going to try and use a load of battery though as we get ready to head into the pit lane at the end of lap 10, but I'm a bit worried. I think this might be the laps where Sainz gets past me here. Of course, I would have thought he's going to stay out for 1 lap longer. And of course here, you just can't undercut the AI on F1 22 there, but into the pit lane we come nice and tidy. Sainz does stay out once more. Then Lando Norris, I think, has followed us in. Was very, very brave on pit entry there. No, Lando Norris is up to stay out. Hamilton is the one, that's joined us in the pit lane there, as Perez and George Russell will head back down in towards La Source. Hopefully we get a nice, clean, tidy pit stop, though. No issues there. Would be a world of good for us today. 2.3, that was brilliant. The tyres were barely on, and we'd already launched ourselves out of the pit lane. Hopefully we won't get caught out in traffic either. So we head out of the pit lane here. Here comes Zhou Guanyu, but we should have enough there. We do stay ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Trying to monitor the gap to George Russell and Sergio Perez as we head down through Pau on there. Still struggling with understeer on this outlap, but like I said, I can't help but feel this might be the moment that Sainz re-emerges in front of me. But if we can stay close, we know we've got top end speed down the Kemmel Straight there. We might still be able to go for a DRS pass. Team telling me we do need to push at the moment as we head out through Stavolo there. Still trying to take that corner completely pinned. A little bit easier now on the fresh tyres, but we have lost a bit of time to Perez and George Russell as this lap has gone on. Of course, now through the faster sections, I think we are the fastest car down the straights around this venue, to be honest with you. But heading down, slow in at the 100-meter board, down in towards the bus stop chicane. Where are we going to re-emerge in comparison to Carlos Sainz? There's a nice bit of curb on the entry and the exit there. Everyone else is peeling into the pit lane. There is Carlos Sainz, though, as we head back down in towards turn 1. Have we somehow stayed ahead of the Spaniard? Look at that. Yes, we have. We are still ahead of Carlos Sainz then in this Grand Prix, and somehow we are still defying the odds here at Belgium as we cross over the halfway stage of the race. Now it's going to be a case of how much Sainz can continue to close in the gap, as Lando Norris still in P3 there. Russell up into P5 ahead of both Red Bulls. Oh, Hamilton, new fastest lap of the day there, but I'm impressed with just how long we're able to hang on to that fast time, as here comes Carlos Sainz then. Lap 13 of 22 here in Belgium. It really does feel like it's Kimi Räikkönen versus Giancarlo Fisichella all over again from 2009. What is the distance going to be to Sainz there? You can see, despite the DRS, he's not really gaining on me. I mean, if he can't get close, we might just have a fighting chance still late on in the afternoon. I said, you know, in qualifying, I thought it was just down to the fact that we lowered the AI, of course, to balance out the game. But since then, new patch have upped it once more, ready for the race, and we're still hanging on. Oh, there we go. Sainz now, fastest lap of the day. Now he's getting the DRS on me. He is closing in still lap after lap, and maybe this time round he'll think he's close enough to try and go for something. There is again Sainz every time on the exit of La Source there. Seems to get fantastic traction in a way I simply can't. Up through a Rouge and Radion though once more. Will Sainz now get close enough to try and look for a move here as we head up the Kemmel Straight? Sainz is gaining on me. He's gaining. But again, it's not going to be enough there. Carlos Sainz, he might try and go for a send, which he does there. Sainz muscles his way to the inside. We give him the room, but of course he's got a lot more to lose than I do this weekend. Of course, we're just trying to battle out for P4 in the championship. Sainz wants to battle his teammate for a world title. Those extra 7 points could be critical, but I'm sure he'd rather walk away with 19 than none. Lap 15, then 8 to go here from Spa-Francorchamps, on a place that has seen so many iconic moments in the past. Could we be on for another one today? There is again trying to put the throttle down at turn 1. It's one of the better runs I've had off the corner, but still Carlos Sainz, he gains once more as we head up through a Rouge and Radion for the 15th time in this racer. Of course, not quite as dramatic as the first lap, but Sainz again, he's going to start closing in on me. But again, he just doesn't have enough. That Ferrari car is running far too much wing. Maybe that's why they struggled so much in qualifying as well. I mean, Lando and I were the prime examples of trying to take as much downforce off as you can and try and hang on in the race. But now you can see through the twisty bits, Sainz is all over the balcony. Oh no, a little bit of a mistake through Pouon, and now Sainz trying to have a look to the outside as we head down through the Fagnes chicane there. Got to give him the room, of course. We do not want to upset Ferrari at this stage of the day. I mean, we certainly are already by not just letting Sainz through there. But around the outside, through Stavolo, tries to go Carlos. And again, he just can't quite make anything happen there. But we get a horrible run off the corner there. A very, very compromised run all over the curbing. Here comes Carlos Sainz then up in towards Blanchimont here. We're wheel to wheel with the Spaniard here. Are we both going to make it through? Bit of a blender throttle from the pair of us. Good racing respect between myself and Carlos Sainz there. But surely up the inside he goes. Down in towards the bus stop there. He just completely misses his turning in point. And we get a warning for corner cutting there. I mean, we absolutely had to. We get an illegal overtake as well, as here comes Lando Norris. Where has he reappeared in this Grand Prix there? Back down in towards La Source. Lando thinks about trying to make a move work on Carlos Sainz as well there. We get a big kick of oversteer on the exit of the first corner, and Carlos Sainz now into the lead, but a very, very robust move in the Belgian Grand Prix. But of course we know just how much top end speed we've got still there, as we're hanging on the ragged edge up through a Rouge again there. We don't want to be battling Lando Norris all afternoon long, as we have a look towards the outside of the McLaren, but he's closing in on the Ferrari to the outside of Sainz once more there. We're 3 wide at the top of the hill with the Ferrari and the McLaren there. Lando Norris backs out of it. Sainz very aggressive there. Lando's going to try and look back up the inside on the exit of the corner there, and again the AI being very, very aggressive with their moves there. Can we hook it up around the outside of Lando Norris? Very, very close to contact on the exit there as we try and give him a big old squeeze. It's allowing Sainz though to get away there. We'll only just get in front of Lando Norris again as we head down through Pouon. But 6 laps to go of this Grand Prix. We've lost the lead to Carlos Sainz. Can we try and get it back? We've seen how little Sainz gains in the DRS from myself, but what are we going to be able to do against the Spaniard there? We might not even get the DRS. Yes, we just nip back under the 1 second zone there. Let's make sure we get off the battery before we head up through a rouge there, taking a big chunk of curb this time round, but we've just got so much top-end speed still in the car there, in the wheel tracks behind Carlos Sainz. Are we going to get close enough? Not this time round. We'll just get all over his gearbox though, and Sainz might have thought he'd pulled off the move and it was a done deal to the checkered flag. We are not going to make it easy for him. 4 laps to go then here from Spa-Francorchamps, and I don't think I've concentrated this much on an F1 race in I can't remember how long there. Up through a Rouge and Rally on we go once again. We just lose so much time around a lot of the lap to Carlos Sainz, so we're just going to need one huge run on the Spaniard up the Camel Straight there, and again you can see we gain, but not close enough to go for anything once more. We're probably just going to have to go for one big last-ditch attempt late on in the race there. As you can see, Sainz really kicks out the back end, trying to push his Ferrari to the absolute limit here as well. A tiny bit of contact with the Spaniard, but yellow flags out. I think that's George Russell, who's found himself in the gravel trap. Not too sure what's happened there. But riding on board then with George Russell side by side, I think it's with Max Verstappen, and just sends himself out a little bit too wide there, and both Red Bulls going to claim the places. Daniel Ricciardo sneaks by as well, and George Russell left wondering how he made that sort of error. Oh, there we go. Another new fastest lap of the day, trying to just keep the pressure on Carlos Sainz. This is certainly the closest we've been through La Source there. No idea why I left it in 3rd gear on the exit of the corner there, and that was almost us out of the Belgian Grand Prix there. That was a catastrophic error of judgment through turn 1 there. We're not too far away. We are still hopefully going to be within range of Sainz next time round, but that might just have been the difference in this race. They tried to get on the throttle just a bit too much in 3rd gear and almost took ourselves out of the Grand Prix. Well, heading up in towards the Blanchimont then for the penultimate time here in the Belgian Grand Prix, and what a bizarre weekend this has turned out to be. But will it be bizarre good, or will it be bizarre brilliant here? Round in the final couple of corners then to start the last lap here in Belgium. We took pole on Saturday, seemingly out of nowhere, and if we could somehow walk away with the race victory today, what a fairy tale story that would be. Carlos Sainz got the move done with a very robust move on lap 15, but since then I think he was just hoping it'd be plain sailing to the checkered flag. We were never going to make it easy for him there, as can we try and get a run up the Camel Straight on the final lap here. You can already see we're visibly closing in on Carlos Sainz there. Big wobble as we went through a Rouge and Radion, but we keep the foot in. And are we now going to be able to get a run on the Spaniard here? He's going to go defensive on me. To the outside of Carlos Sainz we go, but we just haven't quite got enough there. Sainz very aggressive on the brakes at the top of the hill there, and he will hang on to the position for now, but it's not over. You can just see Sainz really struggling. He's got no grip left on his Pirelli tyres there, as we're trying to look around the outside down the hill there, not quite able to find anything just yet. And I think really now our only big chance will be down in towards the bus stop chicane at the end of the lap there. We've got to try and stick close though to Carlos as we head through Pouhon. These tyres have absolutely had it late on in the day. Both of us are just trying to hang on in there, as you can see, down in towards Fagnes for the final time here in Belgium. Will it be Carlos Sainz taking yet another win for Ferrari, or will it be us with Haas's first ever win in Formula 1? I'm not convinced we've got enough. As we head out of Stavelot here, we're going to have to completely drain the battery as we head up towards the finish line, but we're not going to have enough. Carlos Sainz, he's just got enough grip in that Ferrari there, and you can see we are gaining on him, but it's surely not going to be enough. They're still half a second away as we head in towards the bus stop here. Carlos Sainz might only just, oh, I had to try it. I had to try it, see if he'd jump out of the way there through the final corner, but Sainz, he ran out of fuel. No!
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Well, not the result our points leader would have wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, I really wonder whether, because Sainz ran out of fuel up towards the line, whether he just sat back, we could have got past him there towards the checkered flag. But that's going to do us then here from the Belgian Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz is back on top in his Ferrari there, but half a second away. That was the Fisichella versus Raikkonen remake on F1 22 there. We were definitely the quicker car late on in the afternoon, but just could not find a way back past him there. But yes, Sainz from 5th on the grid to 1st at the checkered flag. He beats out myself. Lando Norris, another podium for him in his McLaren there, and Lewis Hamilton down in P4. Red Bull 5th and 6th there means 5 cars from 5 teams inside the top 5 there. But Verstappen beats out Ricciardo, Russell, Gasly, and Valtteri Bottas there. Only Mick Schumacher not able to make it home to the checkered flag. Championship-wise, though, does make things interesting towards the front of the field there. The gap at the top comes down to just 22 points, as Hamilton now just 6 points away from Sergio Perez. If we can keep up the good run of form, though, maybe we could still outscore George Russell by the end of the year there. And Lando Norris gets past Zhou Guanyu and Mick Schumacher with that brilliant result there. Daniel Ricciardo jumps Sebastian Vettel up into P17 there. Constructors-wise, though, no movement this weekend. I think it's only a matter of time before McLaren get the jump on Alfa Romeo, though. But could they still get close to us by the end of the year there? That is the other question on everybody's mind. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return very soon with more of the F1 22 Haas Road to Glory. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.